Broadcasting from the Blanchardstown Centre. This is Phoenix FM.
Alright, so I do believe I actually have this working this time. Yeah, I don't really know how to work everything yet, so welcome to WViDesk. It's just me me, Brain, here for the moment. But we should have Dara along eventually. I decided to get the show up on the the show on the road anyway, just right now, because we have a lot to get through. Because we have another hour of programming now to watch. Yay! So we'll start with the low point of every week for me in terms of wrestling. I can't stand it. I actually actively hate it. It's Monday Night Raw. So we started off with the highlight reel with Owens and Jericho, and I mean, I really like the two of them. I think it's a really fun pairing. But you know, like it's a fun pairing, but it's every week. You know, it's just like, it's fun, but I could do with a break from it. I mean, I would rather have, like, I'm a big believer in the idea that, like, less is more. That, like, you know, you can see it in the way we run the show here. You know, less is more. You know, it's a complete failure on my part last week, by the way. Sorry that we didn't actually have a recorded episode to put out, but sure, these things happen, you know. So, sorry about that, everyone. Anyways, like, yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, it set up the match that no one wanted and no one asked for, with Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. It just, you know, it just wasn't really, there's just nothing really, anything to, like, there's just nothing really fun to say about it. I'm kind of bored of the whole Roman Reigns experiment. I don't understand why they seem so reluctant to admit that it's not working, and it hasn't been working forever. It sucks. And it's just like a lot of things on Raw, it's just so tired. Like, they're continuing to tease the idea that Owens and Jericho are going to fall out, like to have a proper falling out. And yeah, and I'm looking. I would rather see it go a different way. I would rather see. I would rather see them do something a bit more creative than the two of them fall out and have a match. I'd like to see them, like, just realize they can't be friends for whatever reason. I think that could be a bit more fun. You know, I think, because everything's just so formulaic now with it. Like, even though, yeah, sure, they throw surprises out, but these are surprises for the sake of having a surprise. Like, you know, they need to have some, like Raw doesn't feel like a show where anything can happen. It's a show where, like when they have a surprise, it's like, wow, I didn't think they were going to do that. But even then, it's just like, well, even in the realm of possibility, it was a thing that could happen. You just didn't. It was just not seen as a likely thing. Like, but it's just, they have such a talented roster, and they have some people on the creative team who are very, very talented people. But for whatever reason, that's just not clicking right now with these guys, and that's a shame. We had R-Truth fight Braun Strowman. who cares? Just, the only thing that was interesting about it was Zayn went and started attacking Strowman, and Foley comes out. It's like, oh, I'll stop doing this. Then we had actually a great little moment from Sammy where he actually stood up for himself, which is something we haven't seen from a babyface in a while. Granted, it's not against Stephanie, so of course he was able to stand up for himself. And then we have they started building up for the match with Charlotte versus Sasha. It was a thing. I'll get onto it later. Like the Cruiserweight division match, it was a nothing match. It's just like Cedric's great. Tony Nese is a very talented dude, but it's a Raw match, so it doesn't matter, and it might as well not exist. When we actually had the match, then we had women's title match, and it was a countdown, and it basically they're going like, okay, we're gonna have a match at the end of the night, and hooray! It's again, I'll talk about it when we get to the end, but Rusev and beat the crap out of Enzo and got disqualified, and bleh, boring. It's a waste of both guys, really. We had a pretty good match between Rich Swann and Noam Dar, but it builds up to 205 Live. And but again, it's not worth anything. It's just a pointless thing. And then we had our match. Then we had a terrible segment. Sorry, we had a terrible segment with Sheamus and Cesaro fight, just getting into a fight at a bar, and it was awful, like really bad, like exceptionally bad. It was like, who thought it was a good idea to do that stuff? It was terrible. It was really terrible, like outstandingly awful. It was so bad. I don't know why. It's just, oh man, like this show, when it throws out stuff like this, it's just not entertaining. And then we had our match between Reigns and Owens, and joy of joys, it's Roman versus Kevin. Not in any way entertaining, not in any way interesting. It's a waste of Owens, and frankly, it's a waste of Reigns too. This should be more interesting. This should be more interesting, and it's a snooze. It's a complete snooze. I don't know how they're doing this. It's terrible, like really terrible. So yeah. Anyway. Then there was the interview, which was really the only reason to watch this episode of Raw. One of two reasons to watch this episode of Raw. The Paul Heyman interview, great. It sets up the Royal Rumble, actually making it sound really exciting, which is cool. But by the time we get there, I guarantee you I won't be interested. But right now, I'm kind of excited to see it. Then we had the New Day against Luke Gallows, and it was just a thing that happened. Charlotte. Then we had the next match where there's no disqualification, no count out, false count out anywhere, all that shenanigans with Charlotte versus Sasha, and Sasha won. And why, outside of her like beating Charlotte, like them both beating each other in their hometown, why is this, like, she's a 3-time women's champion, and and so far 2 out of her 3 reigns has been completely utterly pointless. This rivalry is just based on nothing but rubbish right now. I can't understand this stuff, man. I really can't. I don't get it. I don't get what Raw's going for here. It's just dull to me. It's just I don't understand why it is a thing. It's incredibly frustrating. So yeah, moving on to greener pastures of SmackDown. Started off with a pretty decent contract signing segment between Becky and Alexa Bliss. It pretty much, I mean, it was just the two of them playing off each other. It was pretty fun. I'm looking forward to the show, but I'm looking forward to seeing that match. But yeah, like actually, isn't that pay-per-view this? Sorry guys, I'm a little out of sorts. Isn't that pay-per-view this week? I've completely forgotten if it is or not. Yeah. So yeah, TLC. it is this week. I'm relatively excited for it. I'm sure when Dara does eventually get here, we'll get into it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, get moving on. We had Dolph Ziggler and Kalisto take on Baron Corbin and The Miz. It was a fine match, despite Corbin being involved in it. But it was just, again, it sets up both stories. It did a decent enough job of it. Hopefully we'll see both these guys do. Look, hopefully we'll see these guys actually have decent matches. But I mean, like, Kalisto isn't the best. Is not a very precision-based worker. At least when he was better when he was on the Indies for some reason, which is weird. Then when he was Samurai Del Sol, but here he's just not. He's been very, very sloppy since he's made it to the main roster. It's weird. It's very weird. Anyway, like the Faces won by DQ, and like the Carmella Nikki Bella thing is still continuing on. It's past its sell by date for me at this point. I like Carmella can take or leave Nikki, but it just doesn't. It's kind of lost its interest for me. It's followed up by the Ambrose Asylum and him bringing out Ellsworth, and it's just it was just pretty dull. And we basically get into AJ and Ellsworth setting themselves up essentially for the we basically set up the idea that they're going to have a match, but Styles destroyed Ellsworth, which was, honestly what I wanted to see happen, because it looked really brutal. Like, one of the angles made it look like Ellsworth actually cut his head off the steel steps, which was terrifying. It was really, really upsetting to see. But yeah, anyway, Kane versus Luke Harper. Snore. I mean, it was a match for the sake of having a match. It filled up time. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton fought against American Alpha, and it was a good match. But I mean, everyone in this match did their job. It looked really good. And we closed the show with Bray and Randy winning, and they're going to now challenge for the tag titles. And then we had a really cool moment where Heath and Rhino were backstage, and like realizing they're going to have to prepare for the Wyatt family. AJ Styles comes in and basically just disrespects the two of them. Rhino steps up to him, and then Ambrose comes in and himself and Styles fight. Sets up their match. So if we have time, because again, so much to talk about, it's ridiculous. This is just obscene how much there is to talk about. I was going to talk about Lucha Underground, but now I realize that I don't actually have the time to talk about them this week. So I'm going to have to give predictions. You can send yours into 085 10 50 181. And hopefully Darryl will be here to actually give his predictions too. We'll get into that in a little bit, though. Moving on to the pretty much the show of the fall right after it. 205 Live having a joyous debut. Opening up with the Bollywood Boys getting their debut essentially for 205 Live against Tony Nese and Drew Gulak, and it was, everyone got their stuff in. It was a match. It was a match to just display what the Bollywood Boys could do together. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't anything terribly wasn't anything that you'd write home about, but it was a good little tag match. There was nothing really special about it. The hot tag and stuff wasn't. It was more of a mild tag, a lukewarm tag, than actually being a hot one. But outside of that, decent match. But those guys really are going to have better matches, because people are going to forget about them real quick otherwise. Arya Daivari again. Basically reintroducing Jack Gallagher to everyone, and it's fun. I love how Jack works. He's just because there's something really entertaining and really methodical about how he does things. It's really cool. That drop kick that he uses to finish matches is brilliant. It's not very often that you hear someone go, "Oh, that the finish was a drop kick," and it's so believable. But that corner drop kick that he does is gorgeous. Also, really worth mentioning. I should have mentioned at the beginning. Commentary team is pretty interesting. Where we have Mauro. Is it Mauro? Yeah, Mauro Ranallo and Corey Graves and the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries, doing commentary. It's it's very, very cool. They all played off each other really, really well, and especially the idea that Austin Aries is eventually going to become a member of the Cruiserweight division and intends fully to challenge for it is very, very cool. And then we went into the main event, which was everything it should have been. It was Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann. So, yeah. I mean, the match was the match was just a good conflict of styles. Swan wants to fly, Kendrick wants to keep him grounded, and that's essentially all we got. When Swan won, it was a very, very cool moment. Very, very emotional. It was very emotional. It was really exciting, but like it was. The only criticism I have of it is that I think the story would have been more weighted if we'd seen him fail more. If he'd struggled for a couple of months, maybe even half a year, maybe even a year, I think it would have that he really, really wants it, and I think it would help cement the idea that like it's hard to win this cruiserweight title, and especially when you have a guy like Kendrick who's creative, and having him find ways to just continuously win matches against people where he's just able to just outsmart people, but also like do some really underhanded things, like causing people to just fail to make that count out by whatever means. Doing some really it's something where you could have you could make it really interesting and make it something where people want to see him lose, and not in a bad way. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take a very quick impromptu break. I'll be back in a second, but I'm going to put on some quick. I'm back. He's back. He's back in the studio, everyone.
Never fear, I is here. Do you ever see that movie Hackers?
I was under the influence of some illicit substances when I saw it. So.
Oh man, I love that movie so much.
Yeah,
such a great movie.
Yeah, so it was a so bad it's good kind of endeavor.
Oh, the movie's atrocious, but it's such a good film that you just love
poorly researched.
It's so pretty, everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of was steamrolling through a bunch of stuff. I'm got pretty much finished getting through 205 Live. So just some quick fire things. What did you think of Raw?
Terrible.
Yeah, really bad, isn't it?
There's one thing that we have to talk about. It's becoming very apparent that 9 hours of wrestling a week is just 9 hours. No, not of wrestling, of WWE a week is just.
It's obscene.
Yeah, it is obscene. It's obscene. It's not needed. Like, why? Okay. What's a good food? Mexican. Mexican is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a good burrito, right? You have a burrito once.
Well, like even if you took the food stuff that transcends food in pizza.
Oh, pizza, yeah. Right, okay. If you had a good pizza.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, I really, really like that pizza. If you were to eat that every day for 9 hours, you'd get pretty sick of it very quickly. Or even 9 times a day, 9 times a week. And that's what we're having now with WWE. It's so
saturated.
It's so saturated, and it's so poor as well. Like, it's not even good. Like 205 Live was really good. Really good comparatively.
But the thing is, like, even like SmackDown, I really like SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown's a really good show too.
The thing is that like, even though I like it, even reading through the results, I can't even go, yay. It's really hard to be excited, but it's just like, oh god, there's just so much of this.
It's because you're just beaten down by the end of it.
Yeah,
you're completely worn out by the end of the show. That you're like, well, I didn't hate it, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's over.
I really feel for that audience, though, too, the live audience.
Yeah.
Did you watch 205 Live this week?
Yeah.
So, like, the way that the match ends with Rich Swann, there were people who could not leave that arena fast.
It's like, quick, we need to go. But you're seeing that now with the pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's happening is now they're starting with the pre-shows, half-empty arenas, and they're ending with half-empty arenas. People are leaving because they're like, thank Christ we can leave.
Sunday night, they've got work in the morning. Like, seriously, they're trying to finish pay-per-views at 11:30 at night. People have work the next day. It's ridiculous. It's like they've kind of forgotten that like people have jobs and stuff.
Well, this is ridiculous. This is the Vince McMahon syndrome all over again, where like he needs someone to rein him in,
Yeah.
He has the network now, so he doesn't have to be reined in. So it's just all the content all the time. And look, I was never a big fan of the 3-hour format for Raw.
Oh.
I remember I was doing a show with Adam where we said this is going to be like the death of Monday Night Raw, which it kind of is.
Oh, absolutely. But like even I think SmackDown has a 3-hour format that's very, very clever because Talking Smack is technically the third hour.
But see, that's good.
It's essentially that. It's just like an hour of like carefully placed promos. It's really smart.
Yeah, but like it's not like it's. I'd be a fan of the 3-hour format, even a 4-hour format for pay-per-views, if it was broken up into its own thing, which is what Tuesday night is. Tuesday night's a much more palatable, consumable product because
it's digestible.
It's broken down into, you have your SmackDown show, which is a much better, stronger show in general, but then it ends. You have, as you said, your Talking Smack and 205 Live, then Talking Smack. But even like 205 Live is its own thing. It feels like a different show. It's not the same thing shoveled at you for 4 hours, which sadly that's what these pay-per-views, special events, call whatever you want it to be. That's what they are. They are now just shovelware. That's what it is. WWE shovelware. That's the next pay-per-view. What?
Shovelware.
Shovelware.
Well, that's essentially what that Roadblock show is, that Owens and Reigns are going to, like I said it earlier, it's a waste of talent, complete waste of talent. Like that should be much more. It should be much more of an entertaining show. Like that, like Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens should be something that people are excited for. I'm not.
That should be a Royal Rumble main event.
Yeah.
That should be, no. Is it a WrestleMania main event? No, but it shouldn't just be on a throwaway.
Yeah,
and that's Roadblock, sorry, I can't speak, is the definition of a throwaway show. It's like compared to the Beast in the East or, shows that they've done abroad. This, and just like the Triple H Dean Ambrose match, that was throwaway too. It's like instead of giving...
Well, that was a glorified house show. Like,
exactly. It's like, okay, fair enough. They're not giving it away on Monday Night Raw, but they're doing worse. They're giving it away on the network. And I get that they want subscriptions, but what's happening now with WWE is they're devaluing their product so much that no one cares at this point. Like, dude, Dave Stevens, who works for SVU, he was saying that, he hasn't watched any Raw, any wrestling this week at all in his 9 hours. I saw 205 Live, flick through Raw.
Yeah.
SmackDown was the most enjoyable, as it always is, but
like this is the thing as well. Like, I mean, I personally have, work at GameStop.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing a degree here. I'm also doing a degree here. I don't have the time to commit to this much wrestling.
But who does? Like, realistically, who is going to sit there and
on a
watch
weekly basis? No one. And like, I mean, the thing is, you're seeing it because, like, one of the things that's really interesting is the, like, what's that? Like, the NFL is experiencing its worst ratings historically currently, and the reason why is because the matches are over 3 hours long and they're chocked full of advertising. Where have you heard that story before?
Also, not only is the Raw and SmackDown shows full of advertising, but the network now and the pay-per-views, advertising is creeping into them too.
Yeah.
Which is not good. That was the whole point of the network and the whole point of the pay-per-view format. You buy the show for no ads, and now they're creeping ads into it. It's... Does Spotify have ads if you don't pay for it? No, it doesn't. It's going to end up like when you go to the cinema here, when you pay €20 to go see Iron Man or whatever, and you have to sit through ads for Maltesers. You're like, kind of don't want to watch ads. So it's insult to injury now here with WWE, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to move on a little bit. So, like, 205 Live, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Middle. I liked it, but it didn't feel like the Cruiserweight Classic.
But that's fine.
No, that's fine. No. That's not a point against it. I'm just saying it still hasn't. It doesn't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
So it's a wait and see approach.
Yeah.
I think, for me.
My criticism with it was, I thought it was a little too soon for Swan to win.
Nobody cared.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well is that like he has such a pre-made story because of his upbringing.
Well,
that,
okay.
like,
the thing about it is, right, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
But loads of guys are ready to go. I don't think the fault here is with Swan. I think it's with...
That's the way it's presented.
That's it.
Like,
they Raw has done so much damage to the Cruiserweight division that this is all they could do.
Yeah. Like, the Cruiserweight division has existed for what, 3 months?
Yeah.
And they've had 3 different champions so far?
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
No.
Like, the thing I was saying was, like, I would have rather see Kendrick hold it for a lot longer.
Yes.
And have it be this thing. Like, again, like, I never wanted Kendrick to win the title. Because I really want him to be that heel who struggles to get it but never does. Because I think that's a lot more engaging. But when he has the title, I would rather see him, like, because he has the title, I'd rather see him have it and just find and have every single dastardly way of keeping that title. You know, like getting a camera cable and tying the guy's feet so he's counted out. Stuff like that. Because that's part of his character. I think that'd be great to see. And to have him do that for months and have Swan on his heels for like 6 months straight, just getting closer and closer but never being able to do it, and then finally doing it. That would be huge. That'd be something worth watching. Like, one of the main reasons why Sami Zayn winning the NXT title was so good was because he was chasing it for 2 years. You know? If he was chasing it for 2 months, no one would care. Like, you know?
Everything is so drawn out now. But everything is so compact.
Well,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like
everything that like people want to see happen, they do it instantly. Everything that they don't want to see happen is drawn out. Like Roman Reigns is a great example of it.
But what's weird about that is the two kind of transition together. So
yeah.
What happens is, okay, they rush something that people want them to wait, right? And then they double down on that and push it really hard, and then people get sick of it. Like, for example, the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens thing. Yeah. People love it, but they've done it so much now to the point that people were kind of sick of it and you had to kind of push them apart, which is great. But the cruiserweights as well, another example of it. People wanted the cruiserweights. They screwed that up, doubled down, and now we're picking up the pieces here.
Yeah. Well, like, even if you look at Ellsworth.
Oh, yeah.
How much they're really over. Like, because, again, it's the classic WWE thing of not understanding why something's over, so they just give you all of the time.
Overexposed.
Yeah.
WWE overexposed. That's the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
They should just rename Raw to that. Like, okay. We should start a mini game. The things that WWE have overexposed. The New Day.
Yeah.
Look at the New Day. Look what they've done.
Jericho.
Owens and Jericho. Exactly.
It just keeps going.
It just keeps going. All the good things that you like about WWE, they
weirdly
have
Jordan and Gable aren't in that list. It's like someone's got the good sense to go. Let's not
push them. Well, I think it's because
let's present them well, but not really do anything with them. Like which is fine, but they're gonna have to pull that trigger soon.
They will,
hopefully.
Well, I don't know. It's like we're in this weird spot where they can do so much, and things have the potential to go really well, but they need to cut back on what they're doing. I think the moving SmackDown to a live format has been fantastic for it. And moving from the weekend to Tuesday, which they should have been doing that for years.
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
fair,
yeah.
I think that was a stroke of genius, and that's really, really good. Raw needs to be 2 hours.
Oh God,
it needs to be 2 hours. Like, they need to understand that, if not 2 hours, do something else with that hour.
Well, didn't they create a show called Raw Talk? I don't understand why that can't be the final hour.
Raw Talk, Bite This, have one of their WWE 24/7 something there that's different, because what's happening is, because you have that extra hour, you're overexposing someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, fair enough, sometimes it's not the same people, but the New Day are a prime example of that, because they would maybe fill out 40 minutes.
But the thing is, they'd get 40 minutes, and Owens and Jericho would get 40 minutes too.
Exactly.
Like, which is
like,
crazy.
think about it, right? Instead of having that hour where you need to fill with something, those 40 minutes get cut down to 20 minutes, and already those guys are protected right there for half the time.
Yeah.
Because, okay, what's wrong? Fair enough, it's on the network. What's wrong with having the rise and fall of WCW on for the hour, or a video package, like a show showcasing Goldberg, or showcasing the tag division, or, you know, just using their tape library smart here, because that's something network still isn't using. It isn't using the vast tape library that they have in a smart way.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to use it for whatever reason, which is stupid.
But I don't understand. And guys, text in 085 10 50 181. I don't understand why there is this move to, instead of focusing on what they have and building up on that, because think about it, right? They have guys now in the main event that don't feel like stars.
Yeah.
No one in that company feels like a star, with the exception of AJ Styles,
yeah,
and Goldberg. And maybe Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar's star has been so badly damaged by the Goldberg thing that I would arguably say he's now on the back foot here. They have to
say quickly, thanks to Ian. He's sent in predictions, but we'll get into that near the
we'll
end
get
of
into
the
that in a few
show.
minutes,
So thanks very much, Ian.
Cheers, Ian.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, dude.
No, it's okay. It's like none of the top guys, the WWE, with the exception of AJ and Goldberg, feel like top stars.
Yeah.
And like even Roman Reigns, who, you know, is being pushed as top guy, he doesn't have it, and that's because they're not built up. He's not
a believable character.
He's not a believable character. Like what? Okay, sorry, man, for interrupting you, but I hate to say it. You know, what has he done? What has he done? You know, Goldberg walks in, right? He does 2 moves on the build up to it, does 4 moves in the match, and becomes the biggest star of the company.
Yeah.
His total ring time is like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Maybe. You know, and why? It's because you buy him.
Yeah.
And he's not overexposed.
But he's also really likable. He's inherently likable.
You know, even if you're not a WCW fan, you know, he's and again, some kind of background. One of the biggest things that killed WCW was when they turned him heel.
Oh God! Yeah.
It didn't kill the company, but it was
certainly a nail in the coffin.
Oh, it was the, you know, steal the line. It was the poison injection.
Sure.
You know, it was the slow death, and it's because he was so inherently likable. But, you know, the question is, what does this mean? Well, using Goldberg as your example here, don't overexpose him. Don't overexpose anybody, right? Yeah. Which is what they've done with Roman Reigns. Overexpose him completely to the point where people hate him. Yeah. Actively hate the guy. Goldberg, we get his character, we get his motivation. He wants to be a superhero for his son and for the kids.
Yeah.
Right? Now that's cheesy as all hell, but it's clear and it's a goal.
It's clear and concise.
Exactly. What's Roman Reigns' goal?
To be a nice guy.
Yeah. For who? For who? It doesn't make any sense.
For everyone, Dara. He wants to die for our sins.
But it doesn't make any sense. You know, it's just silly. It's like the John Cena thing. Yeah. It's not a strong motivation.
Listen,
you know,
I've got 3 more segments to get to.
I know. I just you know, it is a point that I've heard all week. Where why is Goldberg working? This is why Goldberg is working.
Because he's led to do a wrestling promo.
It's because he is the antithesis of what WWE want them to do. And I think they need to understand that. You know, even fix 2 of them.
Yeah.
Give your guys a main drive to do things. And don't overexpose them.
Also, how about you do a promo in 2 minutes, like you're supposed to do?
And not 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Like opening Raw and having a 20-minute segment?
Yeah.
Not a good way to open a wrestling
show.
Sorry.
So, NXT. It just finished off doing a takeover. what are your feelings on it going out of that show? And
Okay, Takeover wasn't bad.
Takeover's fine.
You know, it was what it was.
Yeah.
It was a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
We're in a transition phase with NXT.
Yeah. I think it's going back to the way it was.
Yeah.
Where it's just where it's going to be some experienced guys, some less so.
I think
Mostly less so.
yeah, we're balancing out here. I think we will eventually get Nakamura's probably on his way out to the main roster.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking months, not years.
Yeah.
Rude the same, and Joe. They're probably our next big three guys to leave.
Asuka's probably.
Asuka as well, definitely. She is so ready.
Yeah.
It's scary.
English is still a problem for the two
But that's why
Japanese
Nakamura and her are still there.
Yeah.
You know, and the
The same
reason.
reason why Itami's still there too.
True. Well,
That and injuries.
that
But,
and
like,
injuries.
still.
To be honest with you, Atami is someone who I want to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Because
One thing I wanted to get into as well was, did you hear about the newest person who was poached from Ring of Honor?
no, who?
They've got a new trainer from Ring of Honor, Steve Corino.
Oh yes, I'm so happy to
Yeah.
hear that. That's awesome.
I'm gutted for Ring of Honor, but I'm delighted for.
Look, Steve Corino deserves it.
Oh, God.
I actually love Steve Corino.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's so cool. And the
there
great thing is
there was a really cool interview with him where he was just like, "This is what I wanted
to do.
and it's just really heartwarming to hear.
well, there's also as well, you know, they can use him maybe as a commentator or something as well.
I think Graves doesn't need to do that. Is too
Graves is
booked.
doing too much.
Yeah, so is Tom Phillips. Both of them are doing 3 shows.
Like I love Graves, and I actually really like Tom Phillips too.
two of
That
them
guy
are
is
such
so tall, it's scary.
Yeah. The two of them have such a good chemistry on that show. That's kind of like, I don't want to break them up, but I kind of have to.
Yeah, but like,
You know?
come on, they're literally all over the place.
Yeah,
You know, like they're doing way
I
too
don't
much.
understand why they don't try to give Cole a new show. Like Cole should be doing a late night talk show thing for them.
Yeah, which
at
would
this
suit him
point.
better.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, we're getting there, and I think you know Steve Corino.
That team, like that training team, is getting scary good. With like head trainer being Albert, him being there now, like William Regal and who's the other English dude working for them? It's not Dave Taylor. Oh man, it's gonna annoy me. But there's 2 English guys like in the same kind of camp as Taylor and Regal.
Yeah,
just
like the
can't-
old English kind of guard. But no, that's
Sarah
cool.
Amato. It's crazy.
And then again, you have the women as well.
Yeah.
With
Well, like Sarah Amato.
Sarah DeRay. Yeah,
Yeah, Sarah. Well, her real name's
I used
Sarah
I
Amato.
didn't know that was her real name.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
it is Sarah Amato.
I just know her as Sarah DeRay. So.
Also, meant to say this earlier. Did you see the horrific footage that came out from?
Oh my God,
Authors
from
of
NXT?
Pain? No, from Authors of Pain.
No, what happened?
So they have that spot they do with the double powerbomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did one of them where where one guy got powerbombed and then the other guy got supposed to get powerbombed on top of him. Except that the only part of them that made contact was the 2 guys' heads hitting each other.
Ugh.
From it. It was horrific.
Nasty.
It's a miracle no one was killed.
Jesus.
Because like it was horrible.
Sure, there was a similar thing there. I think it was on the pay-per-view
Yeah.
where he went over, and it's amazed that AJ Styles is still walking.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, like that's incredible.
Also, the Styles clash of the steps this week was pretty scary looking. From one angle, it looked like Ellsworth got his head hit off the.
But I suppose that's the point. You know,
Yeah.
wrestling's supposed to look.
Yeah, I know, but like
It's supposed to look like it hurts.
Yeah, but like, look like it hurts, not look like the person's going to get killed. Like that's kind of what I would say outside of a death. Like, okay, that's fine in a death match because it's in the name.
Not look like you're dead.
You know, but like outside of that, it's mental. Like, did you have any other news you want to talk about? Because we rushed through what the segments I had a little bit, but. Like,
Is that all the segments you have?
pretty much. Well, yeah, I've got barring one, which is predictions. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
dude.
hold on.
Let's get to predictions because
Predictions,
there's
cool.
a lot. But before that, I will have to say WWE's pay-per-view schedule.
Yeah,
They're like I didn't even think it was that packed until it is. But what they're talking about doing is they are talking about removing some of the shows and
Oh,
adding
thank
more of the
God.
roadblock kind of shows.
yeah.
So at the moment now,
Thank God.
we've had 18 pay-per-views this year.
Yeah,
Right? It's like 2006 again, where there's pay-per-view every 2 weeks.
yeah. Oh, thank God. I can't do this. I'm
It's just so
tired.
much.
But like even like I was listening to WrestleBollocks Radio, which is going to be my plug for the week.
Mm.
And they were going. I have work. Why is there another hour of this?
I have work.
You know? like every single podcaster is just like, why are they doing this?
Like,
you know?
Okay, I'm assuming the wrestlers get paid per show, right?
You'd hope so.
I hope so, because if I know in TNA they don't get.
You just don't get paid.
You just don't get paid. So it's like whatever. But like, I'm assuming WWE like paid them per appearance.
Yeah.
So at least they're making money out of it. But are WWE making money out of this? Because they can't be.
The way
there's
WWE,
no way they can make it.
WWE are still making profit because, like, the thing is that like they make they're one of the main reasons why it's 3 hours long is because they make a crazy amount of money for that third hour.
Definitely.
Like, it benefits them financially to have a third hour. It's just a really bad decision in every other aspect. Like, the thing is, I've been hearing stories that their live attendance is going down the toilet. Like, it's, the way like there would be photos of TNA house shows where it would be like baseball fields that can hold like 3,000-4,000 people.
Yeah, and there's like 4 people there.
Yeah. There's rumblings that's kind of the way that the attendance is going for house shows for WWE too, which is a problem.
I don't blame them. WWE house shows are atrocious. That's why I don't go anymore.
Yeah. Well, you can't guarantee that you're going to get to see the people who you're going to pay to see.
Well, not only that, but like WWE did come to Dublin soon. They did recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
When?
I don't know.
Like the past 2 or 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? I didn't even know about that. I didn't even care.
Yeah.
And the main reason is because the show was probably terrible.
Yeah, but like they don't care about Dublin. It's not a market they give it.
No, but it's not only that. It's like, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 shows that I've been to in Dublin, it's always been a colossal waste of money.
Yeah, but like Dublin they've historically not done good shows here because it's not in their interest. It's the beginning of their tour. They're going to be they're flying out right after the show. Do you okay? Imagine that you're a touring band and that's the way your itinerary is going. Are you going to do a good show in that place? No, not a chance.
But like, I remember like 1 year their main event, like their big thing was Ezekiel Jackson.
Oh God.
And Kane.
Oh no.
And I was just like, really? This is who we're going for? Okay,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they probably have some markets that they do better shows in, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of those matches are the same.
Yeah.
A tables match, like, come on, the table match. I'm sorry, table matches suck a lot. They are not good matches. They never were, never will be. They were good with the Dudleys.
Yeah, that's because it's the Dudleys and that's their gimmick.
It's their gimmick. But other than that, like, a table match is very boring because of its nature. It's a boring match.
But it's also a very contrived match. I mean, like, again, it's one of those things where, like, even when you look at like a lot of gimmick matches like that or the casket match, like, how many good casket matches can you even name? In WWE,
he took the words right out of my mouth.
Specifically in WWE,
like,
I can name 3 good casket matches, and none of them are in WWE.
One of the worst matches I've ever sat through in my life was Mr. Anderson versus Bully Ray in a casket match.
Yeah, like
it was literally the worst match I've ever seen, and I've sat through an Alicia Fox match.
You've sat through the Jenna Maraska match.
Oh yeah. So
which still is the worst match I've ever seen.
So I will have to say that not good at all. It's atrocious.
Actually, just before I get on to the predictions, have you been paying attention at all to Lucha Underground?
No.
So do you know that Matanza lost the title?
Yes.
To Sexy Star.
Oh, I did know about this. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she lost the next.
And she lost it like 2 days later, right?
She lost it on the next show. So she lost it about 4 hours later. Like, in terms of how they shoot to Johnny Mundo.
That's pretty cool though that they did that though.
Yeah. This week, they had this awesome scene where it's Dario going to Matanza, going, "Hey, like, let's go after the title. Let's go and get it back. And Matanza's there with blood on his hands going, I want Mysterio! Yeah. And like he has a bloody question mark on the back wall. Because like, it's like the first time we've heard him speak and he's like, he just sounds like a crazy person. Because Mysterio is the guy who pinned him.
Yeah.
Like he rolled him, like Matanza took about 12 million finishers. And then Mysterio rolled him up, holding his, like getting a fistful of tights, like, and pinned him that way. Like, so he didn't even lose cleanly. Like, oh, it's so much fun. I mean, this is the thing, like, this is how weird Lucha Underground is as a show. On most shows, on most wrestling shows, they need a title to have something interesting happen.
Yeah,
Lucha Underground is the only show that it probably shouldn't have titles, because if you look historically, every single title storyline they've had has been boring as hell. It's the worst part of the title stuff. Is the worst part of that show. Yeah, by miles.
Usually, yeah.
Everything that doesn't involve titles is always interesting. Everything that involves titles sucks.
Well, the titles should always be. Shouldn't make the wrestler. No, the wrestler should make the title.
But like,
you know?
The thing is that like we're seeing right now with Matanza that he was really constrained by being the champion in terms of what they could do with him as a character. Like even when Prince Puma was champion, he was really constrained. When Mil Muertes was champion, it was probably the best rendition of someone being champion, but he was constrained. Like even the trios titles outside of the first champions, there hasn't been an interesting trios champion.
No.
You know,
it's because the trios champion was a gimmick.
Yeah, but like it was also because like those characters had like character development to get the belts that made it. Interesting.
It made it interesting.
You know, but anyway, we've got like 10 minutes left.
Right, go on. Well, first before you do that, read out
Ian's. Yeah, that's the plan. So Ian has it being Kalisto over Corbin, Carmella over Nikki, Becky beating Bliss. Becky beating Bliss, Ziggler beating Miz, Slater and Rhino beating the Wyatts, and Styles beating Ambrose.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty much.
That's pretty. Yeah. I can see Corbin beating Kalisto because we're just not allowed to have nice things.
Well, I have liked Corbin recently. I've liked him a lot.
I really have not, man.
No. Well, look,
I go in on out
liked is a strong word. I mean, at least they're doing something with the guy.
Yeah, it's just that he's terrible.
Of course he's terrible. He's a WWE top guy. Of course he's terrible. Or groom top guy.
That's like saying, look at my mural. I made it out of my own poo. It's still poo. Like you just successfully covered a wall in it. You know? Like I could see Carmella. I kind of hope she beats Nikki because Carmella could do it to win more than Nikki could. Because they still need to establish her. And like, if she beats her, then she can challenge against Becky, and that'll be fun. I can see Becky keeping this title for quite some time. I can't even really think of anyone I want to see beat Becky at this point on that roster.
I don't think anybody could.
There's people who could, absolutely.
No, I mean like. I don't mean physically. I mean,
yeah.
What would they benefit from?
Like, I can see Natalya doing it.
Why? Natalya, we've seen Natalya there before. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
I think Becky is a much stronger character in general. She's a much. I
think Asuka will go to that show.
Well, look,
Asuka needs to go to that show.
Becky with Asuka would be great.
Yeah,
that'd be a great match, and that would actually make some kind of sense. I can see Becky holding the belt until the Rumble.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do something then to set.
Sure.
Maybe Asuka come in for WrestleMania, which would be good. Becky and Asuka at WrestleMania would be a really good match.
Yeah.
And that's the match I would book.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I definitely would see that too.
And again, you'd have the story as well of Asuka coming in. Here's the thing. What are they going to do with the Women's Championship for the Rumble? Are they going to have them in a little mini Rumble themselves? Which is what they could probably do.
That would be fun.
They
could do that on the pre-show.
You could do it on the pre-show, and you'd have the women
from
the
entire pre-show.
But yeah, you could have the women from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Asuka wins.
I'd keep it to short people, to
a
small amount of people from NXT.
Yeah,
a couple surprises, but nothing major.
Exactly, but then you can have
Yeah.
that link in. Also, I believe Mickey James is back, right? She's on NXT now.
Well, she came back for a match.
I can see her making another appearance. Probably, if you're going to do that, make an appearance at that as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So that's what they should do, and I think would be a very interesting thing if they did actually go that route. But
Yeah.
Becky
I'm
and
just
Asuka,
wondering when they're going to have Ember Moon beat Asuka, because that's kind of what they're building to on NXT.
before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I love Ember Moon's theme music. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Anyway, so Ziggler beating Miz. At this point, it's kind of like the Charlotte Sasha thing, where it's like, why does the title have to change all the time with these people? You know, like it's just so redundant having it. Like, if you're gonna beat each other this often, why even have a title? It's pointless.
Because they need to have a title to make the match seem important. But all
The
it does
match
is
isn't important.
exactly. it just means the title.
Yeah, but
WWE booking, man.
Yeah,
WWE booking. That's all it is. Absolute nonsense.
I can. Yeah, I still think probably Ziggler will win because 50-50 booking. Slater and Rhino. You know, the way things are going, I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bray and Randy
Yeah,
beat them.
I would say so because they are building to something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but it's
I'm
something.
kind of enjoying Randy being a part of the Wyatt family and it not just being this thing that runs on, you know?
Well, I'm enjoying it because it actually, gives Randy Orton something to do.
Yeah.
And Bray is benefiting from it. And anything Bray benefits from is fine
It's
with me.
good. Yeah.
Because, my God, has that man been just floundering for years.
Yeah. Well, she's been so directionless, but a lot of guys have. And we're seeing on SmackDown that at least people are given the chance to be a bit more than directionless.
Yeah.
So, and
Which is the main thing.
Yeah. And then we've got the main event. Styles versus Ambrose.
But there's no way Ambrose is winning.
Why would Ambrose win?
Yeah, there's absolutely no way. Ambrose has been booked.
I can see an Ellsworth heel turn coming.
Oh, yeah. But Ambrose has
fun.
been booked like a chump.
Yeah,
He's
also been booked like the heel.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing.
He kind of is. I think everybody now is sick of Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Because, his title reign was such an epic fail.
Yeah. But the thing is that I don't think they have an understanding of what his character is at all.
They have no idea. They actually have no idea. No, I don't.
They've kind of gone
To be fair, a lot of this has to go on Dean Ambrose as well.
I mean, no, I don't think. I think that there's enough blame to go around that all parties are at fault with it.
Yeah.
With this, but I think that one of the things they kind of forgot is that Dean Ambrose as a babyface it's just like he's a bit weird, but hey, he's scrappy, and that's kind of who he is. Yeah. When he's a babyface, you can go in a different direction with him as a heel.
Well, when he's a heel, he's maniacal and calculating. Which is, a much better fit for Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
We even saw in The Shield, he worked better as a heel, and then when The Shield
he's
became...
a natural heel.
Yeah, but that's it. When the Shield became pseudo-face, it was watered down.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I didn't mind them being face because the thing is that Rollins is a much better babyface.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah. Rollins is as much as a natural heel as Dean Ambrose is.
Yeah.
Rollins is that much of a natural face.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns is
it's just a blank slate.
Yeah, he's a blank slate.
Yeah.
He's muscle.
But as they would say, he's versatile. But But yeah, that's pretty much our predictions. Pretty certain we're coming up to pretty much being out of time. So
we're almost time. Yeah.
Do you have any
plugs?
Do you have any plugs? Just before I get to that, we did get another text in from Ian where apparently I don't know where he's getting this information from, but apparently there's going to be another Ring of Honor raid in the new year, which will be interesting.
We will keep an eye on it. Any information?
No, that's all he said in the text.
Okay. Ian, we will keep an eye on that and see what happens.
Interesting. Coming attractions. Yeah, all right, man. So any plugs for you, sir?
No, I have no plugs this week.
No plugs this week.
No plugs this week. Oh, Mr. Robot. Everybody watch Mr. Robot. That's an awesome show.
You come to this show and you don't even have plugs.
I plugged Mr. Robot. That was a good show.
Yeah, I'm going to plug my friends over kickstheindustry.com. We'll hopefully have a little something with them in the works.
Fantastic.
In the near future.
Definitely, that'd be cool.
We'll see what happens. In the meantime, everyone, going to throw us over to a bit of an ad break, and then it'll be Rebel Radio. So bye from us.
Bye.